All right, what's up, YouTube? I just wanted to go live real quick about this whole Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis rehydration clause situation. I mean, I'm kind of late. Like, if you're on social media, if you're on Twitter and stuff, you probably saw it hours ago. But I'm kind of late to it because I was working on creating the breakdown for the Caleb Plant David Benavidez fight. So I called on to some of this stuff kind of late, but I wanted to just jump on live real quick and talk about it before I got too late. I wait for a few more people to join in before I start addressing this whole thing. But you guys see the title and you see the photo, man. You already know where I was gonna go with this here because I think it's a little bit ridiculous at this point. All right. Uh all right. Let me just pull up this video. All right, so I was looking at the Bradley Martin's Raw Talk podcast. All right. What's up, Captain? What's up with you, man? What's up, Ivan? What's up, everyone that's joining the chat? Please smash the like button. Yeah, the Bradley Martin's Raw Talk podcast. He did an interview. He dropped the interview today with Ryan about 7 hours ago, where they were discussing the Tank fight. And the show starts out with Bradley asking Ryan about the rehydration clauses and the contract, all of that stuff that Ryan's been talking about for weeks, right? For months now. Okay. Now, this is my stance on the whole thing. Now, I've been following this, right? And if we go back into December, there was an article that came up where Ryan basically said that the PBC, they told him that if he cannot have another fight in January leading up to the Tank fight. So they said that he was not allowed to fight anymore. So he had his last fight in July, right? He had his last fight in July, and he wanted to have another tune-up fight because the Tank was going to fight Hector Garcia. So Team Ryan wanted him to have another fight, and that was going to be against Mercito Hesta, who just beat Jojo Diaz, right? So it was going to be that guy, which made sense because Hesta is like a southpaw fighter, right? He's a southpaw, and it was a good tune-up fight for him to have against a solid opponent. I mean, he just beat Jojo Diaz, so obviously the guy is pretty good. So that fight was supposed to go down, and they blocked that, according to Ryan. So Ryan's waited this out. He hasn't had a fight. He's been inactive. Tank has been active. He beat Hector Garcia, and now they're going to fight in May. So Ryan started going on a tour and all these interviews, even leading up to the press conference. He's telling everybody like, hey, I got this rehydration clause, and I have this. I think he said he had the catch weight. So I think we knew about the catch weight very, very early, right? The catch weight at 136. Now, Ryan's been fighting at 140 now. So his last fight at 135 at lightweight was against who's the guy? Luke Campbell. And that was over 2 years ago. All right. So he had the fight at 135 against Luke Campbell. He stopped Campbell, but then he went on a year break from boxing, a mental health break. Right. So he comes back, takes 2 more fights, right? But one is at 138, one is at 140. So he's growing clearly. I mean, if you look at the dude, he's clearly growing. What's up, Young Hollywood? What's up, everyone that's coming in? I see you, Ralph. I see you, Camp Ish. Was good. So he's clearly growing. But he's going around now talking about the catch weight. Like, all right, we get it. You agreed to a catch weight at 136. Yeah, I'm definitely live this Saturday. I just actually did the breakdown for the fight this Saturday. I just put that out. And I'm definitely here Saturday for sure. I'm not missing Saturday for nothing. So I'll be here Saturday. All right. And I'll probably come on a little earlier too. But yo, he's going around talking about the catch weight, which is at 136. Now, I don't know if you guys know my thoughts on this, but I personally think that he gave away any chance of him winning by agreeing to the catch weight. But not only did he agree to 136 pound, which is only 1 pound over the lightweight weight limit, so it totally favors Tank. But he agreed to take what was a 10-pound rehydration clause limit, so he cannot come in on fight night over 146 pounds, or I don't know if that's the morning of, because that could be the morning weigh-in of the day of the fight. So he's not allowed to, basically bulk up. He can't be too big for the fight. So we knew about that, and he's talking about it in the presser and all that. I'm like, all right, it sucks for you because you're going to be drained. We know that you're too big to be fighting at that low of a weight at this point, in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to Vegas. I'll be right here. I'll be right here in this seat Saturday. I'm not going to Vegas for this fight. So anyway, so where are we at now? So today he goes on this podcast, the Bradley Martin's Raw Talk podcast. And he started out the podcast with saying, and look, maybe y'all don't feel the way I feel, but the way his whole body language is and the way that he's talking like he has the flu or something. He's sitting there, yeah. So they said in the contract, because the guy, they already was talking about it before the show started. So Bradley right away, he's like, yeah, you look slim, like your face looks, you look slim in the face and everything. He's like, yeah. And then he's like, Bradley goes, what you was telling me about something you can't eat food or you can't have water? He was like, yeah, so I'm not allowed for 3 days of the week. It's part of the contract. I'm not allowed to drink water or eat any food for 3 days out of the week because, I'm part of I agreed to the rehydration clause and they just want me to make sure that I come and, and make the catch weight. But he's sitting there like he's a victim. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're sitting there like you're a little kid, like that you're not getting your way. Like, bro, you agreed on a contract. Can somebody remind Ryan Garcia that he agreed to that rehydration clause? That he agreed to that catch weight. You're not the first this happened to. It happens all of the time. So he goes on there and says that. Now it's going viral. It's all on Instagram, it's on Twitter, it's on everything. Just that clip. So what does Ryan do? He goes on Twitter and goes, oh, I was just joking around. I was just over exaggerating with the whole I can't eat and all of that stuff. So that led me to over exaggerating on the title of this. I mean, if that's what we're doing now, you're not allowed to eat. You're not allowed to drink. You're not allowed to sleep. You're not allowed to shower. You're not allowed to train. You're not allowed to look at family. You're not allowed to have a trainer. You know what I'm saying? You're not allowed to do any push-ups. You're not allowed to do anything. You can't hit the punching bag. You can't do nothing. You're not even allowed to sweat. That was part of the contract. But he goes on there on Twitter and says, oh, that whole thing was a lie. I was just joking around. You guys can't see, you guys can't tell that it's sarcasm. No, we can't tell because the way you're sitting there acting like you're starving right now for a meal. You're acting like you haven't had any water for days. You were being so dramatic. And you keep talking about it. That's all you're talking about is the catch weight that you signed and agreed to. You signed that contract. Nobody went over there and told you to do that. You could have took a completely different route. You didn't have to fight Tank under these terms. You agreed because you wanted to make the fight. I get it. You wanted to make the fight, but dude, you got to be realistic with yourself and your health and your body. You didn't have to take this route. You could have fought your way to the top. You could have fought Devin Haney when he was stepping in the ring to call you out. You could have went after Teofimo Lopez. You could have went after some of the top guys at 140. You didn't have to. You didn't have to take this fight. Oh, I had to sacrifice. So I had to work so hard and agree to so much to make this fight happen. Can somebody remind this guy that Devin Haney and Lomachenko is fighting each other in the same month for undisputed? Talking about what you've been through, what sacrifices you had to make. You didn't have to travel to the other side of the world to defend, to fight when all of all of the stipulations leading to the fight favored your opponent in order to get a title shot. You didn't have to do that. What sacrifices did you have to make? You agreed to a catch weight. Okay. You agreed to it. Okay. So what? Everybody does that. But I've never seen a fighter talk about it as much as Ryan. Like when you brought it to our attention, I thought it was cool. In fact, when you used it as a comeback towards Tank, I thought it was cool at the press conference. I didn't say anything. But bro, you are dragging it now. Like you are dragging it. And then to add to it that you can't eat and drink water for 3 days of the week just to go on Twitter and say, ha, I was just joking about it. Dude, it went viral because people believed you. It's not going viral because we thought it was a joke. It went viral because people believe you. It's making Tank look bad. I mean, the catch weight and rehydration clause is always bad anyway. It was bad with Canelo did it with Sergey Kovalev. You know, people still talk about what's this guy's name? Floyd Mayweather. I said, what this guy like? He the one of the greatest. What's this guy named Floyd? That guy named Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, he did it to Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of fighters that do it, but dude, stop like being a victim about it. Like Jesus Christ, like we get it, but come on, man. Like this is too much. What are you doing? Captain said he's not allowed to use Instagram. if only he wasn't allowed to use Instagram. Low Clarity says dude has hell of ADHD. Pablo says Ryan was being sarcastic. Check the updates. Yeah, he was being sarcastic, but because he was being sarcastic, but he's coming out with it now because people believed him. People believed him. You started out the interview saying it in a way where people believed you. Now, I'm a little late to it, but, you know, I saw the updates. I saw the tweets. Yeah, I was lying. I was just joking around. Okay, but it went viral because people believed what you were saying. Especially when the guy that's interviewing you is asking about your appearance. And he said, what did you tell me? You said you can't eat and drink? He's like, yeah, I can't eat. It's part of the contract because they wanted me to make the weight. All right, you were joking. Cool. But millions of people saw it. And they don't know if you're joking or not. Regardless, and my point is to this whole thing, it's not even just that. It's just that you keep dragging it. Everybody had to deal with this before you. I've never heard another fighter bring it up as much as you have. You do it in every single interview. And you add to it every single time. You didn't have to take this fight under those conditions. You didn't have to do it. I think you gave your advantage away by agreeing to it. That's why they put that in the contract. And you took it as if there's no other fight to be made. Who do you fight? Who did you fight to build up to lead to this fight? What exactly did you do? The best fighter you fought, you took a year off after that fight. You won the fight. You got dropped, but you won. You pulled it out and got the stoppage. Good win. And then you took a year off. You killed the momentum. You came back and fought two guys that you had no business fighting at 140. But you did that. Cool. And now you're going straight into the Tank fight. You wasn't going to get the fight any other way. But you threw away your advantage and you keep crying about it. And it sounds to me like it's a built-in excuse. If you lose the fight, you have a built-in excuse now. Oh, I was weak. Oh, they didn't give me any water. Oh, it took me everything I could to be able to make this weight because I wanted to make the fight for y'all. That's bullshit. You didn't have to take this route. Yes, it's a big fight. I know it's a big fight. I understand that it's a big fight. All right. But make yourself more valuable so they can't force things like this on you. Because right now, you and Tank, what you have compared to what Tank has is two different levels. So you had to agree to a lot of shit because they weren't going to make the fight any other way. You could have made yourself more valuable to when they had made this fight. You guys would have had to get to a point because this fight is so big. They make it seem like this is the biggest thing, like this is the biggest fight ever. So being that they're saying that this is like the biggest fight in boxing, right? They would have made, if this fight was truly the biggest fight in boxing, they would have been forced to agree to making it a 2-network fight, a 50-50 split, no catch weight, no rehydration clause bullshit. If you were as big as Tank, there would have not been an A side, or at least not on this level, where they would have forced you. They would have wanted to fight just as bad as you did, and they wouldn't have been able to force this kind of catch weight. Or if there was a catch weight, it would have been like something more reasonable, like 138, not 136, where you're barely over 135. And a rehydration clause on top of that. You would have been able to fight back better in negotiations if you had built your brand in the ring better than what you have. But you didn't do that. You fought one really tough dude, right? You fought one really tough top contender. And then you took a break. While Tank, even though I don't think Tank has fought the very best of the very best of the very best at 135, no. I don't think he has. But he's consistently fought good fighters, and he built his name, and he sold out arenas. He's had pay-per-views. Some of them good, some of them sucked. All right, when it comes to the numbers. But he's been doing this. Ryan hasn't been having pay-per-views or nothing. So they were able to bully him on a negotiating table and make him sign for this stuff. Because Ryan didn't go after Tank. He didn't go after Teofimo Lopez. He didn't go after Lomachenko. He didn't have George Kambosos on his radar. He didn't have none of those fights. He had none of those fights. So you skipped the line and got Tank, the fight that everybody else won. You didn't fight Shakur Stevenson. You skipped the line and got straight to Tank. So they bullied you on a negotiation table, and you signed the contract. You and Oscar and the managers, it's like Leonard Ellaby is saying on Twitter right now, you signed the contract. Because you had nothing, you have nothing to show on why this fight was going to be 50-50. You're taking a huge gamble. Now, if you win, it's going to be well worth it. Because if you win, then you're going to be the first to beat Tank. You're going to get to him. You got to him quicker than a lot of these other guys that won him. So that's great. But it's a huge gamble because you're not going to be in your strongest. You're not. You're just not. You're not going to be at your best. You're not going to be at your best. Not with that catch weight. No way. You're not going to be at your best. You're too big to come back down to a weight class that you wouldn't, by the time the fight happens, you would have not fought at 135 for about, 28 months? No way. No way. Low Blow says, dehydration clause is crazy. Ron should have never signed up for that. I agree. Campish says, Lion Ryan is back, ladies and gentlemen. He's just joking around. He's being sarcastic. It's not lying. Andres Ramirez says, of course, stick with the blacks. Yeah, it's clearly this guy's first time being here, but whatever. I'm not able to. I'm gonna just let you sit there and be mad. Zay says that's why they call Ryan a social media sensation. Paolo says, Andrew, stop. No, let him sit there and be mad. He's a loser. We're not worried about him. Isaac said if he ain't agreed to the catchweight rehydration clause, the fight probably wouldn't have been made. Tank could have gone up to 140, but Ryan didn't. But I get you, and I understand that the fight wouldn't have been made. But what I'm saying is, like I was just saying a few minutes ago, you build your brand so it can be a super fight, a real super fight. All right. Let it be a real super fight. They're selling it as a super fight, but let it be a super fight. Like when Fury and Wilder fought, that was a real super fight. They had no choice to make it to join. You know, they had Showtime and ESPN work together to make that fight because it was a real super fight. They're just saying this is a real super fight. You know, they're saying that this is the biggest fight in boxing. They're not. It's nothing there to really prove that, though. There's no belt. There's no real belt on the line here. There's nothing really on the line here. Just fame and just like fame. Big names. That's what they're saying to us. But this don't feel like Fury and Wilder to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, are we just going to dismiss everybody else that's in the division? I mean, I'm not saying that they're more popular, but what I'm trying to tell you guys is that they were able to bully him when it came to negotiations because he had nothing to show for it. Just Instagram followers. No pay-per-views, no titles, no filled out arenas, none of that shit. So if Ryan had declined it and said, no, I'm not agreeing to this catch weight right now. We just can't take the fight. I'm going to go on my own path and make myself, build myself better. So when we can revisit this fight, and it would have been revisited. It's not like Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao happened right away. We waited 5 years. We've already been waiting for like 3 years for this fight. But he could have been building his brand to be better. What did he do? Instead, take a year off. You guys, you know, that are defending Ryan don't want to give him any, you guys, there's no accountability with him. It's like that idiot that just commented, oh, it's about the black fighter. Nobody say anything about that, but that's all you see because that's all you see. If this thing was, if I was anybody else, you wouldn't have left that comment. You would have listened to me without looking at me. But that's what problem with YouTube boxing. People come here, see what you look like first, and then hear your opinion. But it's always based on how you look. Captain says, does he cash out on his possible career? Canelo and Reneso give up on him means a lot. Well, I've always had a thought about that with Ryan, being that he did give up. I don't think it's crazy at all to believe that because he's already took a year off of mental health issues. So if he does get knocked out, he probably might feel embarrassed. And I think he will lose his spirit. I think he would lose some of his boxing spirit if he is to lose this fight in a way of a knockout. Possibly. It's possible. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that it's possible that can happen. Low Clarity says, right, but you shouldn't take the fight and then talk about how it sucks. Exactly, bro. You're talking about how much it sucks because you have to come down and weight, but you're also building an excuse if you lose the fight. It's going to be because of you being drained. You already have a built-in excuse, and that's my problem with this. You know? It's crazy. You know, I'm just trying to make sense out of a guy that is just, we've seen so many catchweight guys. Let's not forget, if you guys been watching boxing, this catchweight rehydration clause thing has always been a thing. Now, sometimes the fans make a bigger deal of it than the fighters. Usually The fans make a bigger deal because sometimes we find out, like with Canelo fights, sometimes we find out later that there was some kind of catch weight involved in the fight. So people get mad and, people bring it up like, oh, Canelo beat him, but he was this, or they've done it with Floyd, or they've done it with Manny Pacquiao, or they've done it with Miguel Cotto, or whatever fighters that were like legit A size and there was a catch weight involved. But I've never seen the fighter just continuously bring it up and add on to it as we get closer to the fight. Like, bro, we heard you the first, second, and third time. I even thought it was funny when you brought it up in the press conference. Never had a problem with it. But bro, you're on another interview and now you're just like, I'm like, all right, bro, whatever. It sounds like to me that you got a built-in excuse. Just me. Some of you got to disagree with that, and that's fine. We don't all have to agree with it. But I think this is a little bit too much for me, personally. And no, I do not think he should have signed the contract. As badly as a lot of people feel that they want the fight, and I understand there's a lot of fans that want the fight, I still believe that if Ryan had did his thing, right, because it's his career first, I think that Ryan should have been building himself better so he wouldn't have had to agree to all of Tank's terms. Because right now, it's looking like a journeyman situation where a guy is in total control. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just too much. It's too much. It is too much. And I'm talking about when it comes to the contract. It's too much. But you agreed to it and you signed it, bro. So if you signed it, do what you got to do. Handle your business. You say you got to knock him out in 3 rounds or something, right? Well, handle your business. But don't be crying about it every single day. Like, bro, if you win, always go like, yo, you're going to be the man. If you win, if you can still pull this off, being that you're drained, because you're going to be drained, if you can pull this off, it's going to be great. But if you get knocked out, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. What's up, everyone that's joined the chat? Please smash that like button if you haven't already. I mean, Zay, to answer your question, he says, why fight at 136 catch weight where you can go down a pound and make the fight happen at lightweight? Not sure if a pound makes a difference. Hell yeah, it does. Hell yeah. At that point, every pound. When you're coming down like that, every pound hurts. Every single one. You know, it can have a little bit of effect. Why come down to 135? What would he be fighting at 135 for? First of all, he wouldn't need to come down to 135 because there's nothing at one. He's not staying at 130. He's not campaigning at 135. You know, I know Tank has a WBA strap, but it's not the super WBA. It's the watered down one. Ryan already knows that he's a 140 fighter. He's been fighting there, and he's grown since the Luke Campbell fight. So there's no point for him to fight at 135 at all because he's not going to stay there. You know? What's up, Soccer? I see you. Josh says, I'm still not convinced that this fight is going to happen. But if it does, I'm still not giving up on Ryan's chances. I gave up with I thought it was 50-50 at 140, where, you know, I think the fight should really be at, you know, because Tank can fight at the weight. But, you know, Tank is like, yo, you too big, you know, and Ryan, I guess they don't look at Ryan as being Mario Barra. That's another thing, too. And I'll bring it up real quick. because I had this conversation with somebody else when it came to Tank fighting at 140 and fighting Mario Barrios at 140, right? So, I said, Tank could have gone up to 140 because he fought Mario Barrios at 140, right? And they were like, yeah, but is Mario Barrios, is he as good as Ryan Garcia? And no, I think the easy answer is no. Like, I would think that Ryan Garcia is better, but is he? I don't really know. Because Mario Barrios, even in defeat against Take, he kind of looked all right. I think Mario Barrios boxed better against Tank than what I'm expecting from Ryan. I think Ryan gets stopped earlier. But again, the fight didn't happen yet, so I could be wrong. Right? The fight didn't happen yet, so I might be wrong. But Mario Barrios, who did he just beat up? So Barrios lost to Tank, but some people feel that he was winning a lot of rounds, right? Then he went up to 147, lost to Keith Thurman, but went the distance with him and was able to hurt Keith Thurman. And then he destroyed Giovanni Santiago, who I think beat Adrian Broner. So with Ryan, it's so many unknowns here. It's so many unknowns. If we have these conversations of who's better and none of these dudes are fighting each other, I really don't know. I know Tank beat Mario Barrios, but I know he struggled and he was getting outboxed in certain periods of that fight. Because Barrios was doing a good job at controlling distance, landing jabs, landing right hands. He was doing a good job. With Ryan, like, I don't know. What if Ryan gets knocked out in like 3 rounds or 4 rounds or something like that? Are we going to be singing that same song? I don't really know. He did good against Thurman. Yeah, he did good, J.O. Yo, you know what? Since we're speaking on it, and this is not going to be a long live, who do you guys got winning this fight? Honestly, let me know in the comments. Who do you guys got winning this fight? Who do you guys got? Do you have Tank winning? Do you have Ryan winning? Do you guys see this fight going to a decision? Is anybody expecting a decision win? Joey Haven says, I got Tank winning. D-Flex says Gervonta. Tank by rehydration. Tank. Zayd says Ryan by a clean left hook. I don't believe it's going to the cards at all. I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked at the odds, but I mean, I'm hedging either way, knockout. But I'm picking Tank. The majority of my money is going on Tank getting a knockout. James, thank you for the donation, man. He says Tank for sure, sir. I do expect it to be a TKO. Embrace says Gervonta stipulations Davis. Mike says depends on Ryan's durability and Tank's cardio. One thing I will say though, and if this is Ryan, if Ryan's gonna win, that left hook that he did on Javier Fortuna, that phantom left hook was insane. I mean, I've seen that knockout so many times. I can't believe that in normal speed, I can't see the punch. No matter how many times I watch that knockout, I can never see the punch. I have to slow it down. It looks like a phantom punch. What's up, Charles? You late, man. You late. You late. You super late. um, I can never watch. I said that I've never seen a hook where you just can't see it. You have to put it in slow mo to see it. Like that punch was crazy. But I feel like the left hook is all he got. I don't think there's anything else. Like, and listen, if that's your weapon, it's fine. Deontay Wilder had a right hand that just continuously worked throughout his whole career. So I'm not hating. Yo, if whatever is your best weapon, use it. But if Tank gets clipped, it's definitely going to be from that left hook. Black Ham TV says, do Ryan even hit harder than Isaac Cruz? I don't know, man. Isaac Cruz do hit hard. D-Flex, thank you for the donation. He says, you think the clauses are a big deal? Yeah, absolutely. They are a big deal. That drains you, man. You know, coming down in weight is tough, but those extra pounds, those hurt, man. Any fighter will tell you. You know, and that's why a lot of these fighters do better when they just move up. You know? And this is why some of the fighters, yeah, I mean, that's what I just said. Some of these fighters are better when they move up, you know, because they just don't have to worry about it. They'll feel stronger. I mean, look at you, Dennis Ugas. Look at his losses at 140. But he went to 147 and beat better people. And Ugas is not. Yo, you see Ugas at the weigh-ins? The dude looks like an action figure. He's way too big to be fighting at 140. Yeah, I think Ryan's better than Rolly. But I think Rolly was better than what I thought he was when he fought Tank. You know, like I think Ryan is better than Rolly, but I think Rolly looked better than what I thought he was going to look in that Tank fight. You know what I'm saying? And thanks again, D-Flex. I appreciate it. I don't know if I told you thank you for the donation. Thank you. Holy says, I also feel like the left hook is all he got too, sadly. Yeah, but it's a big, it's quick, man. And if I mean, I'm sure Tank is just going to be prepared for that shit. You know, Tank. Well, what I say about Tank is more technically sound than people give him credit for. It's just that certain fights he chooses to take a lot of damage, you know, to get in. James, thank you for the donation. He says, I just don't trust Ryan's defenses. Tank seems to be more mobile. Tank is more defensive depending on who he's facing. Like when he fought Rolly, you saw how cautious he was fighting. But when he fought Leo Santa Cruz, he fought him like in a way where he just wanted to go to war. Same thing with Hector Garcia. It's like he didn't respect Hector enough to not want to get hit by him. But when he fought like Rolly or when he fought Isaac Cruz, he was fighting with so much caution. So I think when we see him fight Ryan, he's going to be fighting with a lot of caution. No, I don't think Ryan's going to fight off the back foot. I think Tank is going to be fighting off the back foot. I think Ryan's going to be coming forward. I think Ryan's going to be trying to pressure him. You know, there's times where Ryan is going to take a step back and try to, you know, try to catch Tank coming in. You know, because Tank the southpaw, he's going to be looking to land that big straight left hand. But Tank, you know, Ryan's going to be looking to hook off of that. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be looking to counter him with that hook. CMP asked me, do I think Tank is more durable than Ryan Garcia? I would think so, yeah. I think Tank is extremely durable. I mean, he's fought a lot of punchers in his career, and you know, he's been buzzed, but I haven't really seen him get hurt like that. Rolly hit hard. I think Rolly is really strong, you know, but he lacks boxing technique. But he's definitely showed us more than what we expected in that Tank fight, in my opinion. Joey says, "What is Ryan going to do if Tank is at his chest on the inside?" Yeah, I don't think that's where Ryan wants to really be. Even though Ryan's bigger than him, you know, I think Ryan needs some space. You know what I'm saying? I think Ryan's gonna want to create some space between them. You know, he wants some space to land those right crosses and that left hook, in my opinion. All right. But yeah, overall, man, to be honest, I just feel like you know, all of the rehydration stuff, like I'm glad he put it out there because I do think it's important for us to know, even though he agreed on it. I think it's cool that the public knows that kind of thing because we want to know what's going on. Like we're nosy as boxing fans, and plus we want to be able to, you know, we want to be able to compare what stipulations you add in the contract compared to, you know, as opposed to other fighters you face. So we can gauge, you know, how much of a threat. Like clearly, out of all the Tank fights where he's like always the A side, right? This is the most he's ever added to a contract. You know what I'm saying? So being that he did that, they clearly respect Ryan to a certain extent. Like they understand that this is a dangerous fight. They believe that. You know, I mean, Tank, if you heard him in his interviews, he has said that he believes that this is a tough fight. So they're taking the fight seriously, you know, so we can at least say that. So I'm glad we do know that information. But as far as Ryan gotta understand that you agreed to taking this fight. And when it comes to you, like, you know, the outcome of this fight, yeah, if you win the fight, man, you're gonna get all the credit. You know, but if you lose the fight, I don't want to hear it's because you drained, because you agreed to it and you didn't have to. Again, you always had the option to build your own career and build your name and fight some of the best fighters, but you skipped the line. And you know what? If he didn't skip the line, maybe he would have taken an L or two to do that. You know what I'm saying? You might have taken a loss getting to the top, but you chose not to go through the best at the division. You chose to have some decent fights, but you didn't face no one, you know, besides Luke. I don't think he faced anyone that really had that much credibility. You know, Javier Fortuna is a good fighter, but at 140, he was way too small at 130. He's not even a big 135 pounder. You know, it's just Javier Fortuna is a blown up featherweight. You have no business fighting him at 140. The only thing that was good for him is that he was a southpaw. You know, but the fight makes sense because you're gonna make the most money, and it's a lot of danger, but the risk is worth the reward because you're gonna get paid. And like I said earlier in this video, you know, if you lose a fight, you might mess around and get and retire. You know, now if you go up there at 140, and this is what Michael's saying. Michael says, in my opinion, Ryan should have just fight people at 140. I don't think he beats Tank, especially at 136. Well, yeah, I hear you, but bro, if he fights Regis Prograis and gets cleaned out, right? If he gets knocked out, like laid out, people are gonna be like, he lost to who? Like the diehards, we all know who Regis is. But if you go up there and get knocked out by Regis Prograis, they ain't gonna care about you fighting Tank. So they had to jump on the opportunity now before risking an L. Because there's too many good fighters at 140 and 135. You know, you go in there with Gary Antoine Russell, you go in there with anybody at 140, and you end up getting like dominated by one of those dudes. Not saying you would, but the risk factor in it all. You know, I don't even know if he's ready to take the 140. I don't think he fought enough wolves at 135 to go straight to a wolf at 140. Nah, like, you know, it's too soon. You know, I think Ryan right now, and the majority of those guys at 135, I think those guys that come up from 135 are gonna have to fight like some of the other 135 top guys that's willing to go up with them. You know, I'm actually surprised that Teofimo Lopez is taking a Josh Taylor fight, but Josh Taylor is a risk that's worth it right now because Josh is coming off an injury. He's coming off a fight that he didn't look impressive in, and he's laid off. You know, and he's probably having trouble making the weight. Can he even still? He's supposed to been go to 147. So I think for Teofimo Lopez, it's a great opportunity for him to pick up the W. You know, Sandor Martin be an issue for Ryan, man. But you know, Ryan, it's tough to call these fights, y'all. For me, at least, because Ryan left hook is it is like Ryan's left hook is no joke. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like that's not a problem. That hook is a problem. If you could throw a left hook that hard and we can't even see it with the naked eye, we can't see it. We have to put it in in half the speed or even a quarter of the speed to see it. He's dangerous for anybody. All right, but I don't know how durable he is. I don't know if he has any other tools. I mean, I'm talking about in a fight where he's really fighting a real threat. More than Luke Campbell. Because there are bigger threats at 135 than Luke Campbell. And there's definitely bigger threats at 140 than Luke Campbell. That's the only fighter I can think of that's on his resume that I feel like he fought that was like, okay, this is like a good test. And that was a great test. But he got dropped in that. You know, he got dropped. But he pulled off the win, so it's all good. Red asked me, you think Tank would ever fight at 147? It'd be a dope to see him fight at that weight. Hell yeah. I think he would. I think they were dead serious about putting him in there with Keith Thurman that time. I think they were dead serious, man. I don't even think that was a joke. I think they really feel like he can beat Keith Thurman. And Keith was inactive. And I think that was a real thing. Because, you know, not for nothing. I love Tank, but he a cherry picker. He's a cherry picker, right? If you go to 147, just like he went to 140, they're going to pick someone that's good, but they're going to pick someone that's beatable. May not be at their very best, maybe too green or too past it. And I think like they might do like a catchweight too. So they'll get somebody from 140 that is respectable, but there might either be some stipulations or that fighter might be just not at a good point in their career, not the best point in their career. So I think they would have done that just so they can say that he's a 1, 2, 3. Is he a 3 division champ right now? So they would have been able to say that he's a 4 division. D-Flex, thanks again. He says better left hook in their prime. No Nito or Ryan. I don't know. I think that's not. I don't think it's fair because Nonito had his whole career, and we've been able to see what he's done his whole career. Whereas Ryan is still green. The Ryan left hook looks more dangerous. But look, and in that Inoue rematch, you know, Inoue's hook looked even crazier than Donaire's. To be honest, if we being honest, You know, I want to see what Ryan could do at the elite level. Can that left hook have that same impact as it does to a Regis Prograis, to a Josh Taylor, to a Devin Haney, or or some of the top tier, or Tank Davis? I'm still waiting to see what he can really do when he steps it up. Adrian Broner versus Ryan Garcia is definitely realistic. That is a realistic fight. It is a realistic fight. You know? Oh man. Kenny Price says, I'm thinking the best case scenario for Ryan would be a reenactment of the Bivol Canelo fight. I don't think that's really possible because I don't think Ryan can do what those two can do. Either one of them. You know, I don't know. What's up, D Style? Yeah, just I can't even. Yeah, I can't even go there with that because Ryan is. He's a little bit. He's a little. As far as right now, I feel that he's a bit one dimensional unless he shows us something else that we haven't seen. D Style, thank you for the donation, brother. I appreciate you. All right, make sure you guys subscribe over to D Style too. By the way, all right. Nah, I don't believe the Manny Pacquiao Ryan thing was real. Apollo, I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, guys, man, it was a good live, man. It was good chop. It's always good chopping up with you guys. It's getting kind of late, and I am getting a little tired. But I'll be back with some more content in the morning. Be sure to check out the breakdown that I just did of Caleb Plant and David Benavidez. And I'll definitely do a quick prediction video for the other fight or the other card coming up this weekend between Jose, I keep saying Pedraza, Jose Ramirez. When it comes to those three guys at 140, Pedraza, Ramirez, and Zepeda, I keep messing up their names. Ramirez is going to be fighting Richard Comey on ESPN Top Rank. And I actually believe that, I know Ramirez has been getting a lot of criticism for taking this fight after, he basically told Regis Prograis on live that he wasn't doing that fight. I actually think this is going to end up being a good fight. I think it's going to be a good fight. All right. So regardless of how you feel about the fight, no one was really asking for it. Stylistically, I think that is going to be a good fight. I don't know what time the fight starts, and I'll definitely be covering the pay-per-view between Plant and Benavidez this weekend in that card. But I will have that card on simultaneously if that fight is on around the same time. All right. So I didn't check what time that fight comes on. But anyway, I will do a quick prediction video for that. All right, so I'm getting up out of here, man. You guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please smash the like button if you haven't already. Thank you for everyone that donated tonight. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.